Good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 o'clock on Monday the 17th, and let's just have a quick look and a recap over our Friday bias. So, we had the two options of it going up to grab liquidity around the 67,500 or maybe a little higher up to 68,600. It didn't even get anywhere near that. It just came up to as high as 67,350, and there was obviously enough selling pressure that just pushed price all the way through all these liquidity stops, all these lows. There's daily lows and multiple stops, multiple lows, and eventually stopped at the 17th of May back at this liquidity low, this liquidity zone, which is just above the pivot point, the pivot low that creates this imbalance that we were talking about last week. So if we were to come back, so both biases weren't quite correct. We did get the up move was definitely not true, which is fine. And then as it came up, it didn't quite even come up to grab any liquidity just up here where anyone held any stops, which is fine. It just fell through and came through here. So let's just tidy everything up. Quick tidy up. And this one down here at the 65, 145, that's cleared out. So now we have this whole new open zone where we have now created liquidity above here, 673577. And it looks like we've created a liquidity zone up here. With a high of 669736. 36, which may actually be another pivot point, so that's fine too. Down here we've got, where's our low? 65,070. And I think it's worth noting this one here, because what we've got is, you can see that prices come down, come up, down, up, down, up. So we can either go up higher to grab this liquidity, or we'll come down to grab this area just below this low would be an area of liquidity, which is where people place their stops. They'll place their stop loss orders for longs, they'll place their limit orders for shorts, and they'll put their buy orders for buy limit orders. So it's an area of interest that will grab people. And so it'll either grab that and move further down towards this liquidity, onwards to that imbalance, or it will keep going up. So that's the idea. That is part of the concept. So let's just put one there, and we can just see how price responds to that. 65, 8614. 8614. full. And it's also mindful to point out that you don't quite want to have your liquidity points between your top and your bottom less than 1%, because otherwise you're just going to be finding yourself and you'll just be pushing through. So that's 1.7%. That's something that's pretty healthy. That's something that we can watch, that if the market comes up, is it going to reject or find support and push through, or is it going to fall and grab some liquidity and push up, or is it going to fall through to find liquidity at a lower point? So they're the two areas that we're looking at. So let's just move out onto the daily. So over the weekend we fell on Friday. We've come up, found a little bit of support, a nice little rejection wick down on Friday, and now we've had Saturday, Sunday, both blues days, which is good. But what we can see is that we've still got our AO it's now bearish and negative. Our SMIO is negative and now bullish. So now we're finding that there's an alternation. So now we're diverging between our indicators, which is also showing a little bit more indecision within our chart. So let's just zoom out because it's Monday. Let's check out our Wednesday bias. Now, let's check out our weekly bias. So let's set this up, make it a little bit tidier for everyone to see. Alright, so we still got these highs along the top. We're nowhere near. I mean, we are, let's face it, we are. Let's measure it. From all-time high down to where we are, we're 10.4%. That's pretty manageable. That's pretty healthy. But we are still looking at, we're 1 week down. So generally, most weeks come down. You have 1 week down, you have multiple weeks down. This one's a different, naturally it points out something else. So what we're looking at here, so we are positive, so we're above the zero line, but we're bearish. Over here, we have, on the awesome oscillator, we are negative and bullish, showing a slight area just here of bearishness. But generally, if we were to have a weekly high here, this could be a higher low, which would indicate divergence. So we would have a lower low, a higher low, which is good, which is beneficial for the bullish case. So that's what we're looking at in this regards. We'll drop it down to a 3-day, which gives us a little bit more context. We've got, on the AO, we've got a higher low and a higher high and a lower high. But then we've also got, on the shorter, more respondent indicator, we're looking at divergence. So we're negative, so we're below the zero line, and we're moving up, but we are still, if you look here, right in these last 3 candles, so that's basically the last 9 days, we've been bearish for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can't use this last one because it's Monday and it's only been alive. The birth of the candle was 4 hours ago, so it's too soon. But we can also see that on this, that we've been bearish here. We are bearish here. So everything is looking bearish for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. 5 times 3, 15 days. For the last 2 weeks, we've still been facing bearishness. which does give me the idea and the bias that we are going to come and fill this imbalance. So that is my concept. That's my bias. I think we're going to come back down and retest this area between 64.78, 780, so 64,500 and 62,900. So that's our area, 64.5 and 63,000. That seems like the area that we are going to come and retest. I do see that on the 3-day this candle is a bit of a rejection wick, which is nice. It is good to see. So we'll pay attention to this 3-day candle. We'll pay attention to this 3-day candle. Will it find support with this wick, or is it going to fall through, or is it going to push up? Because we also have, I won't leave it on here, but we also have a 3-day imbalance just there, which will be filled at the next direction towards all-time highs. Alright, so let's just move on back down to the daily time frame, and let's just rebuild out our Monday bias. In a minute. Alright, so the Monday bias. Let's just put weekend, we'll make it weekend candles. Small bullish sentiment. The awesome oscillator today is now negative, bearish. The SMIO, the SMIO is negative and bullish now. Because we've had the low was Friday, then we had Saturday was bullish, Sunday was bullish down here. So if we were to look at with our SMIO, which is our short-term responding moving averages, we are looking at a bullish case. However, with the momentum of the AO being negative and bearish, that does leave me to feel that we should be moving lower. So my daily bias is moving lower to target the imbalance. Alright. And so that is our daily bias. However, by watching our 1 hour, what we also want to see is we've got our moving average, here we've got higher highs, where we've gone high, higher, but then here we've got descending, so we've got an ascending trend line, a descending trend line. The SMIO has preceded it with a high, a lower high, a lower high. So what I'd like to see to get a little bit more supporting evidence, is I would like to see a lower high with the SMIO. So I would like to actually see it moving downwards. So we'll get a lower candle over here. And the 2 wicks that we're looking at here is this high and this liquidity grab. That was actually a really nice buy, just a really nice short position just there, because we came up. Actually, let me just finish my first conversation. So this is where we're looking as the next liquidity grab, these 2 areas. So that's the pivot high, and that's the liquidity grab. Alright, so that's what we're looking at here. Now if I put a second one here, low 660416. Double check we haven't. Yep, still within 1%. Oh dear. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. Between these 2, there are 2 points. Should we break and close below this? This is where we're falling and looking for lows. If we come up, where are we? So that's our nodes to go long. This is our zone to go short. And that's what we're looking at. They're the 2 areas that we're looking at trying to move between. Alright, and that's what I'm looking at for tonight. Cool, well, I will see you tomorrow and we'll check in on this bias. Alright, have a great one. See you guys. Bye.